What up, fam? Okay, I am now. How are y'all? How y'all been? So I know I've been like going like YouTube live crazy. Y'all know, like I said the other day, this was like a no-brainer for me. So I was just going in and playing around with this thing, and I'm like super duper excited to even have it. I feel like I've been in the golden ages, and I know it's been a thing for some time now, but obviously Kayla just been lost in the clouds. But it's okay. So we're just gonna get right into it. We're not gonna wait around, sugarcoat nothing, as you can definitely tell by the thumbnail and the title. If this thing even shows that um up front for viewers to see it, this will be all about your foundation, sis, because we know we are heading up on our warmer weather and we want to make sure that we are doing what we need to do for our face. For those of you that have really, really oily skin, like myself, it's a struggle for us out here. Y'all know how it be. And sorry, y'all, if I'm constantly looking back at my phone. I am just responding to folks as they sorry, didn't mean to turn it on. Yeah, but I'm just getting texts and stuff and also letting the people know on social media, like, hey, your girl's live. So, like I said, we're just gonna hop right in. I'm hoping to keep this really brief with y'all today. And as y'all can see, we working with sunlight because that's the best light. All right. So, yes, who we got today, y'all? I'm really excited to do this because foundation is really one of my favorite things, a part of my makeup. It's like hands down one of my favorite things to do. Like when it comes to doing makeup, I'm like, yes, we can do the brows. Okay, we can pull out the lip gloss, the lipstick, whatever we doing, but hand me the foundation, sis. Like that's what I want to deal with. Okay. All right, so let's just go ahead and let's do this. So I do have a couple of foundations here with me, and I tried my best to show them in my beautiful thumbnail. But currently, right now, I have two faves, like all-time faves, and guess what? They are drugstore. So yes, sis, I got you covered. One of them I know you may really only be able to find at Ulta or probably online, but very cost reasonable. The other you can almost find in any drugstore that sells Maybelline products. And yes, I'm talking about none other than the Maybelline Super Stay foundation. This is a full coverage foundation, guys, and it does say that it lasts up to 24 hours. And yes, yes, sis, I got you. It comes with a pump. So I almost always have to have this in my stash because this is one of my faves. The color that I have is in 362 Truffle. And I love this. I love this stuff. It is what it says it is. It is a full coverage foundation and it does last me a really long time. And because we are talking about this, it is very it jives with my skin type, okay? Because your sis is oily for sure. And then the next foundation that I have been loving currently is the Makeup Revolution, the full coverage conceal and define foundation, sis. And this foundation does also have a concealer line to go along with it to kind of like complement it, which I feel like most foundations do, like have some sort of like concealer that goes along with it. I've never tried the one by the Super Stay one, but I have tried the concealer by the Makeup Revolution, which I actually have it here. So, with all of that being said, let's get into applying some makeup, shall we? So, I've already gone ahead and I moisturized my face. I did talk about this moisturizer a little bit the other day. This is the Olay Complete. Moisturizer. This does have an SPF of 15 in it, which is mainly one of the reasons why I have been on the lookout and love this thing right now, and why I felt the need to talk about it, because sis, as we are getting up on those warmer temperatures, Um, and our skin is exposed to sunlight and all that good stuff, we want to make sure that we are protecting our skin because yes, we may have all of this makeup on, but it is also very important that we also are protecting our skin. Don't I preach about skincare enough? I love y'all. So I've already applied this stuff. So I've already taken care of y'all for that. This stuff is amazing though, and I will definitely tell you this is cost reasonable. It comes with like a little peep little here, so you definitely can control how much you get out, which I think is pretty cool, and I can definitely see this stuff lasting. For $8.99, I got this for at my local CVS, which I'm almost sure that this is also sold in like other drugstores that sell Olay products. You get 4.0 fluid ounce, a pretty good amount, you guys. Like, I kid you not. So I've already applied that. Next, I'm moving on to my beloved technique that I did not create, y'all. I will have to 100% hands down not take the credit for this, because if I did, then I will be trifling. Sorry guys, just making sure my folks are good. Looks like we're good. Um, yeah, looks like we are fine. But yes, for this technique, I did not create it, but I'm pulling out my translucent powder, which y'all don't judge me. I did show this the other day on my previous lives, which if you have not seen that, sis, after this, you have to go and watch it. Y'all know we in the house anyway, but no. What's the show people are talking about? Tiger King? I have not, y'all don't judge me in the comments. Please don't go in on me. I have not um, been able to catch up on it. I'm sorry. Like, I'm honestly one of those folks when it comes to like watching TV. I would rather like watch reruns of like my favorite 90s sitcoms. Like, am I the only one? Like, let me know in the comments, y'all. Don't leave me hanging. I really want some love. Like, is there anybody else? Like, I'm just, I try to get up on bandwagons, but sometimes I get bored, honestly, with watching TV. I'm a type, I might just like pick up my phone or like read a book, get on social media. So like know that if I'm watching TV, more than likely I'm also like doing other stuff. So I'm just one of those. So that's why like me on certain TV shows, I just can't commit to. Like I wasn't on the see like that. There were so many bandwagons that I missed the mark on. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm just one of those. Anywho, y'all judge me later for that. So I have my translucent here, and this is basically the Makeup Revolution baking powder, and this is in their color Deep Dark. This is one of their darker shades that they do have, which this is a brilliant line altogether. Obviously, you can tell I love it with the foundation, concealer, and the powder. It's pretty bomb. I really like it. But the only thing that I didn't really like about this container is that, as y'all can see, it's pretty small, the lid is, and so it makes it a little bit difficult for me to be able to get the product out. And so here was my compromise to that. But I do just still try to like keep this up to date, and only put a little bit in at a time just in case like I figure some out later. But I have that, and pause, y'all. I'm gonna get to that. But basically, when it comes to primer, for me as an oily person, primer is something that has always been like necessary for me to use. At times, I may like not use a primer or have gotten away with using a primer, but sometimes in warmer weather, I tend to always want to just to be on the safe side, especially if I know I'm going to be out for a long period of time and I'm probably not going to be around where I can blot my face as like easily or as quickly as I need to. So I just try, even though our pores obviously are what they are, we can't change them. They're going to do what they naturally want to anyway. So, that melanin just be like, yes, sis, I'm oily and I'm going to show up regardless. So it's okay. It's fine. But for the sake of this, I'm going to do everything that I pretty much want to kind of show you all. And so that is, I'm going to be using a primer. The one that I have today is a very new primer for me because I've never used it. This is the e.l.f. Matte Putty Primer, and it comes in a little container like this, and it has like a matte cover. e.l.f. has really been stepping it up with like their packaging and their products. So if you have not checked out e.l.f., e.l.f. is one of like the granddaddies to the makeup drugstore world for some reason. Like I've always seen e.l.f. around. So definitely check them out. Please don't sleep on them because they always are like coming out with really good stuff here lately. So this is what it looks like. And the label says that it is in sheer. So it looks like so. And y'all, it is pretty. I'm just going to rub my finger across just so you can kind of get it. It does look like paint to me. And at first I was a little like, is it gonna have like a cast on my face? But I've actually seen several different reviews of this product. And what I have heard is that you can't use too much. So I'm going to try to be mindful of that in this video. But that is what it looks like. And it is in the color sheer. And so once again, you all, just in case you didn't catch that, this is e.l.f.'s Matte Putty primer, and it looks like this. And I'm almost certain that you can find this also any place that sells e.l.f. products. If not, I think like if wherever you go sells e.l.f.'s most up-to-date products, because that's where I almost always see a lot of their like newer products, which these are one of them. So I'm gonna go ahead and just swivel my hand around, my finger around, which I don't know how much I need just yet. Like I said, I don't want to use too much. So I'm just gonna be modest real quick and take a little bit, and I'm just gonna apply it to my cheeks. This is usually what I do with moisturizer, with all kind of things. I just try to spread it all out over my face. That obviously did not feel like that was enough, so I'm just gonna keep going in and just applying as much as I feel like I need, and go from there. But I don't feel like this is too much, so I think we are in good hands. Plus, it pretty much is um, sheer and translucent, so the reason why I wanted to hop on today and show you all this, obviously, I know I'm talking about it, and yeah, I'm just gonna keep applying where I see I didn't really hit yet. But yeah, I definitely felt that this would be something that I knew I wanted to do a video about in terms of like how to combat oily skin, because I know for many of us, oily skin is a problem in the summertime or warmer months. Especially if you have oily skin, you need to, and you want to wear makeup. So sometimes just knowing how to go about wearing the right things or what you can do to kind of help control the excess oil is a big thing. So sharing is caring. I know, like, I try to be as real as possible and share content that is very relatable to things that I go through. And so because I have oily skin, I know that I have some other sisters out there that may have the same issues. So why not? But yeah, so you guys, I think this is enough primer. I obviously look like I have a white cast on my face, which, not to mention, I don't know if y'all noticed, but this is what I'm also seeing. When I actually put on my moisturizer, I also looked a little bit purple. So if you saw that, y'all, I promise it was because I had already like logged on with the moisturizer on. But once again, like, SPF is going to do that to you. It's going to have like a white cast. I've yet to understand why. If you know, comment, y'all, share. Like, this is a community and we can chit chat. So but yeah, so that's that. So now, the moisturizer and then adding the primer on top. So this is what you're gonna look like, if you put all of this on. Which I know for some moisturizers, you can of course get away with just wearing it on its own. Some people even decide to wear primers on their own for whatever reason, because maybe it's a great like barrier for their skin, and also may help control oil. I've never done that, but just a tidbit in case you want to try something like that. And these particular products just so happen maybe something you want to try. This is what you probably would come out looking like, which, granted, when you step out into the sunlight, it may of course fade away eventually. So, which how it's picking up on camera versus how it's looking on me in person through my mirror doesn't look the same. So what you're probably seeing on camera is just deceiving you, which I'm sorry, camera, like that. I can't do anything about the camera. It's just what it is, guys. But it is looking pretty okay in person. So, but all right, friends. So we have our moisturizer, we have a primer. This is what we have. Now we're gonna move on to our translucent. So basically, I have a little bit in my top here, so I'm gonna try to use that. I'm gonna take a fluffy brush and I am, yes, going to apply this translucent all over my face. I'm also going to apply this in areas where I get oily pretty often, which for me is my nose and also my T-zone area. So that would be my nose, kind of like right here on my forehead and under my eye. Those are pretty much where the oil starts seeping in, even though all over it can just go to work. But for me, it really starts on my nose and I hate it, but it's just kind of like, ugh, you gotta find ways to just deal with it or make it or do something to kind of help combat it. But so I've been kind of watching some of my older video, well, some of my like all-time favorite YouTubers, and I've seen this technique where they would use a translucent powder. I have a question. So I need to use primer after the moisturizer. You can. It's honestly optional. I've been able to try this technique with the powder even without using a primer. But if you do want to use a primer, it just acts as an extra barrier to help with the oil control. For some reason, some people really don't like primers. I'm okay with a primer because I just feel like it is going to help protect my skin from getting as oily excessively, if that makes any sense. Just because like I know like I do have really oily skin. Like I deal with it in the wintertime, the spring and the summer. Like it doesn't matter what the temperature is outside. I know that my skin is just that oily. So I always try to have a primer in my stash regardless. Um, and so, like I did mention this primer, but also there are other primers that really work well that I know of for oily, like really oily skin. So another one that I really love, hands down, I don't have it in my stash, but it is the Rimmel Stay Matte Primer. It is bomb, y'all. When I tell you, like, honestly, when you put it on and if you let it sit, so if you kind of like, put the primer on, and then you allow it to set in your face, it will actually mattify. So it will be kind of dry on your face and you will be able to see the white cast. It's kind of the same effect that you get if you put like milk of magnesia on your face, which I've never tried, but if you've seen anybody use milk of magnesia on their face and it kind of dries, it will look like that. In a way. So I love that primer, hands down. It's called Stay Matte. By Rimmel, it's called their Stay Matte Primer, and it has like a white little tube, comes in like a white little tube, and it has like a purple top. Love it. It's actually really pretty cheap at Walmart. It costs like $5 or probably cheaper than that, but it's really good. Or, of course, this one that I have. Another one that I have in my stash. Actually, let me just check. I do have another primer. It is on the higher end side. It's the none other Fenty Beauty. This is the Fenty Beauty. What is it? Pro Filter Mattifying Primer. This is really expensive. I like it. It's not one of my favorites, but I like it. But I would definitely say, hands down, the Rimmel Stay Matte is my favorite of all. So moving on to the actual powder part. So like I said, I'm just going to go ahead and use what's already in my top. I'm going to take this on my little fluffy brush here and I will just apply this all over my face. And of course, this powder is a lot more closer to my skin tone, which if you did see my other live video that I did here the other day, that's a little lot. The one that I used the other day was like a more, it was a lighter translucent powder. That was okay. I don't have an issue with using that color, but I also saw this technique of using something that is like close to your skin tone. So that's why I'm sharing that one here, because I know that I had a powder in my stash that was pretty close to my skin tone. So I wanted to use that. Yes, the powder on my sweatshirt. But yeah, so I think that using either a translucent that's pretty close to your skin tone or using a translucent that's not as close to your skin tone, either way is okay, because I know for me, I can say that because I've used both. Um, Sorry, y'all, just trying to clean that up so it's not as distracting. I've used both, and for me, they both work okay. So yeah. So this is what I think I'm gonna go for, and it looks really good. Like the coverage of just using this powder actually is okay. Like I would rock this like on its own because I didn't even like this is my first time, y'all. So let me just live in the moment. But the coverage on this is pretty good. So another tidbit, some women actually do like to just use a powder without having all the like foundation and all of that. So if you are one and you are like very new to wearing makeup and you're not all about packing on so much like the foundation and the primer, this is the concealer. This is actually really good. Where you can just stop. It looks very natural. You see I have my brows going. If you want to add some mascara, this is pretty good, you guys. I just want to pull up a little bit closer so you can see. And of course, I do have those blemishes and dark marks, but this coverage is really, really good that it's kind of covered even some of those. So this is really cute, you guys. I'm happy that I did this so I can show you. So this is a lot of things that we can learn here, right? So I did mention that, yes, thank you. It looks so good. But I mentioned that, yes, it's okay to use a translucent that's closer to your skin tone. I also said that it's okay if you use something that's a little bit lighter. So I just wanted to give you all a visual. This is the Mercier Translucent Powder, and this is in translucent. And so as you can see, this is really light. And I a lot of times use that underneath my to set my concealer underneath my eye. But as far as today, I think I'm going to try to use this situation we got going on here just to kind of see. But you guys, I'm really, really liking the results of just using just this translucent powder on top of my primer. It looks really bomb. Once again, I said, like, if you are one that you don't really wear a lot of makeup, or you are working your way up to wearing makeup, I highly recommend this already. Like, I myself will wear this, and I think it looks really good. I'm going to hit underneath my chin, even though I probably don't get as oily underneath there, but it's okay. I'm just going to apply a little bit more. And make sure y'all tap off so you don't make a little situation like I just did. Oh, this looks so good. I like it. Okay. All right, y'all. So we are good as far as our powder. I know for some people it may be crazy to wear a powder underneath the foundation, but as you can tell, like, it definitely already looks good by itself. But on the topic of just being able to control or find ways to control the oil, especially if you are an oily girl, this is definitely a technique that has worked for many, many people before. So just take that into consideration, even though I know it could be a crazy idea up front, but I thought it was crazy myself until I actually tried it. So you can't knock it till you try it, because you never know what you could gain from it. So let's move on to the foundation part, guys. I am going to use my Bomb.com Maybelline. You all have seen me use this plenty other times here on my channel. I love this stuff, and I think that this is amazing. Okay, so what I'll actually also do, because sharing is caring, if I talked about both, I will mention both, or at least show you both. I will do this for you all. How about on one side, because I did mention both, I can do my Maybelline, and then on the other side, I can do my Makeup Revolution. So you can kind of get the best of both worlds. As far as my concealer, I am loving, like, I do have a favorite concealer, but I also do have this concealer, which is a really popular concealer now. It is the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Eraser for dark circles. So if you are somebody that you have large dark circles underneath your eye, this has said to be a really, really great concealer. I've even noticed this on other people that it is pretty good. So it is one that I really recommend. The coverage that this stuff gives is amazing. And so I love it already, even though, as you can tell, my tube is pretty new. But I know that we're gonna try this and you're gonna love it. So let's just go ahead and get started. Um, as y'all can hear, my little pupper in the back, she's just barking at people. But yeah, so on one side, I will apply my Maybelline first. And I'll do that on this side. So I'm just going to take a clean beauty blender, which if I am asked by anybody, I do enjoy applying my foundations with beauty blenders a lot more than brushes, even though I've started to not just have favorites because I like doing both. So I'm just taking this on the bottom of my beauty blender and I'm just blotting this all over. And y'all saw, I probably put more pumps than I should have for just one side, but you can already see the coverage that this stuff gives. Do I have to say more? Y'all, I love this stuff. This is why I tell you. And y'all saw I have a lot of dark circles and blemishes. So like, where are they? Like, tell me. If you can find one, I'll give you $1, maybe two, but I don't see none. I love it. Okay, so I'm gonna just keep going. I'm gonna apply this all over on this side. Yeah. And it also does a really good job underneath the eye because some foundations actually crease. And as you can tell, it hits it without even biting. Like it will go and get underneath those under eye lines, but it just covers over them and seeps right into them like butter. So I love that about this foundation also. It doesn't give me a hassle at all. Doesn't separate, none of that. And this color is everything. And it confirms even more because when you can see it in daylight, daylight tells you the truth. So we got our first side. Now let's move on to our second side using our Makeup Revolution foundation. Sit Maybelline to the side. Makeup Revolution, I did use this the other day, and this foundation also is full coverage as it says on the bottle. And instead of a pump, it just comes in like a tube. So it has a little wand like so. What I'm just going to do is just go ahead and take what's already on the wand. Sometimes I have to take as much as I feel like I need because sometimes the wand doesn't give me enough with one swipe. So I'm just going to take out as much as I need. All right, there we go. All right, so I'm just going to blend this in. Blend, blend, blend. Y'all, if y'all are wondering, she is trying to bark at neighbors. More than likely, we're working on her because she's not adjusted to this place yet. All right, so we are good. This foundation, as you can see, also gives some really good coverage. I rarely ever have an issue with this. And one thing that I have really loved, and I've also gotten compliments with this particular foundation, it looks very skin-like. So it will like literally complement your skin in a very natural way. Love this stuff. Like also too, can't really tell where those blemishes, where's those dark marks underneath the eye. It got right in those creases without necessarily clogging up or looking any like clumpy way. So love that about it as well. I've also struggled at times with like hidden underneath my bottom lip. So make sure, sis, you get underneath there because That's a hassle when you've done all of your makeup and then you go to put on your lip gloss, lipstick, or whatever. You just like, really? So I'm about to walk around with looking like that. So just go back over with with your foundation. You'll be good. All right, y'all. We are good. We're looking good. What I am seeing, because I've never done the comparison before, one side does look a lot more like dewy like, which Maybelline is always going to give you that. And then with this technique that I just used, my Makeup Revolution, it does look a lot more matte, which I'm not mad at it. And I'm also not like, you know, oh my God, I'm never going to do that again. I think that's fine. Like if you are one that if you have really dry skin, a lot of this, because it is geared towards, helping combat the excess oil, I definitely think that you want to be careful. So if you know that you may get dry patches in some places on your like face or whatever, I would be mindful of like maybe how much of whatever you use. I have seen people who have dry skin still use a primer, but it depends on what kind of primer you use because primers for dry skin have different uses, but it still remains a barrier between your skin and your foundation. So I definitely would say if you do have more drier skin, you may not want to use the powder technique because, of course, that would just probably be a hassle for you. It may actually hurt if your skin is so dry. Um, but yeah, like I said, Maybelline, we're looking a lot more dewy, as you can kind of see. Like it has more of like a sheen, like I don't know how to describe it, like a skin-like texture to it. Whereas we're looking at my Makeup Revolution, which honestly, it more often gives me that particular texture. It's looking more matte with this technique that I just used. So that's just the difference that I wanted to point out with that. But now let's move on to some concealer. On one side, I'm going to use my all-time favorite, e.l.f. Concealer. This is their 16-hour camo concealer. This concealer is set to last like 16 hours, which I believe it would, but I probably wouldn't wear makeup for 16 hours. But if you do, then hey, here you go. But this concealer is a matte concealer, so I just got you covered in all kind of ways here. But it comes with a wand like this. I love the wand because it gives you a nice amount. And it feels very nice to the skin. So I'm just going to go ahead and apply this to my Makeup Revolution side, and I'm just going to hit underneath my eye. I'm also going to, just for the sake of it, because I know how this one works, I'm just going to hit above my lip and then down the bridge of my nose. For the other side, I'm going to use my Maybelline Age Rewind because I know some people may be curious. This one does come with like a cushion like applicator. So you have to kind of screw up on the tube to get the product out, and it'll come out and you just have to press it onto your skin. It is very possible that you can push out too much. So I'm trying to be mindful because I don't know how often I would really use this, especially I'm still trying it out myself. So I don't want to use too much in the beginning. So, but that's enough. All right. So, okay. So this one I definitely applied with my Makeup Revolution. So I'll go ahead and blend that concealer in first. Um, What I can say about the e.l.f. concealer, it doesn't dry as quick. So say like as you just saw me, I was talking a little bit, applying some stuff. This doesn't, even though it's a matte concealer, it doesn't dry really, really fast. It actually gives you some stall time because it actually just sits there and gets tacky, or still say it still keeps this moist feel and texture. So that's a really good thing, especially when it comes to matte makeup. You want to have a concealer that's really going to work with your makeup, because you do have concealers out there that are very drying. Like as soon as you put that stuff on your face, it dries, and or like I'm being dramatic, but it dries really, really, really fast. I tried those and I try to steer clear because I'm just like, I know for me, I really enjoy my concealer to melt into my foundation. So when it is very drying, it's very hard for it to do that. So, so as you can see, I applied my elf concealer on the side of my makeup revolution. My makeup revolution side had already given me that matte texture with this technique that I use, and it is looking like it's working with the elf concealer. So what I'm going to do is just take the bottom of my beauty blender where I applied my foundation. I'm just going to go around the edges just to make sure that I blend everything around and everything looks nice and seamless. Yeah. And this is really good so that, your face looks well blended and you can't necessarily tell where your concealer and foundation stops. So, just like with eyeshadow, I also like to make sure that my foundation and concealer are blended together well. So, that's what we're working with. On the other hand, I'm going to take my Maybelline Instant Rewind and I'm going to blend that in. And this is what I'm blending in with my Super Stay, my Maybelline Super Stay. So both Maybelline products, let's see how they work together. All right. Okay. So the Instant Rewind was kind of already dry a little bit. It's not budging in some ways. Like I have to kind of really work it in. But my beauty blender is damp, so it's doing a little something, something. Both of these concealers are full coverage, so I got you covered on that end. Um, but it still looks good. Like I said, I am still trying and seeing how this concealer works with my skin tone. So I know I'm not the expert to speak on how it does already, but I'm just showing you what I'm seeing so far. So we're learning together. But here we go. And that is our foundation and our concealer. Now we are going to move on to setting those babies in place. And to do so, what I'm actually going to do is just take the remaining powder that I have in my cap here, and I'm just going to take my beauty blender where I just apply that concealer. I'm just going to take that because, hey, you can do multiple things with the beauty blender. If you've never seen people apply powder with a beauty blender, now you have, very possible. And I'm just going to take that powder and place it right on top of that concealer. This just helps to set it into place. Um, and as you can see, this powder is more natural tone for me. So it'll help that concealer not look so too like unnatural underneath my eye. Now, some people do enjoy using just a regular or like a banana colored powder or what have you, because they do want that brightening effect underneath your eyes. And it's very possible to still get that. And I know if you are worried about that, I am going to try to do something really quick. What I'll do is kind of dust away a little bit of what we have because we already can see that it's set into place. What I will do, because yes, I also do like that lightening effect underneath my eye. I'm going to take that same fluffy brush that I just used and I'm going to dip it into, just going to take a little bit of my little Mercier translucent powder here. And with this stuff, a lot comes out. What can we say? This brush just picks up a lot of powder. So you just be careful. All right. So I'm just going to take that and just pat it a little bit underneath my eye just to bring back some of that lightening effect. You definitely don't have to do this, but if you are one that, of course, you want to make sure, like, hey, I have that brightening effect still, it hasn't been lost underneath my eye. You definitely don't have to use a powder underneath your eyes that's like very close to your skin tone, like I just did. But also too, I'm like in the middle. I want my powder that sets my concealer to be like in the middle. I don't want it to be too light and I don't want it to be too dark. So um meaning I don't want it to like you not be able to tell that I have concealer underneath my eyes at all or no brightening effect. Just doing the same to the other side. All right. And this is definitely pretty good, especially if I have oily skin. I definitely don't want my concealer to, like I said, for me, I have that oily T zone. So this would be a very good insurance plan for both my foundation and my concealer to help last all day. So I definitely think that that was a really good technique to use. But you have multiple cases in which I explained here. So definitely try some of these things out and also find what it is that can really work for you in terms of these particular techniques. I want you to be able to have something that is workable for you, but not something that, just ideally sounds great, but not actually work for you. So, and I'm just going back in with this powder over underneath other places that I actually put powder, which above my cupid's bow and also my nose. Mm, Making sure to blend those in. All right. So here we are, fam. We have our foundation and concealer together. Now, this is my last step that I usually do in terms of foundation, because just like I set my eye concealer, I also would set my foundation before I get to, which is a, I set my entire face with a powder. I'm also going to be using my translucent powder that I use underneath my foundation and also to set my concealer. Before I get to that, I am going to do a little bit of contouring because for me, like on the real, this is what I would do in my foundation routine. I wouldn't just give you all the foundation and the concealer and not give you all the accessories, right? So your girl is going to get a little bronze, define these cheekbones just a little bit. Um, and these are just the areas that I usually contour. Um, of course, if you contour other places, yes, sis, I support you. Um, this is just where I'm comfortable right now. All right. And the concealer stick that I actually just use is by Black Radiance. And this is one of their darker shades. Um, the code to this is 8003. I wish it had a name, but it does not. Sorry, guys. But it is in 8003 and it is by Black Radiance. And this is their contour stick, concealer stick. Their contour concealer stick looks like this. Mine is all janky. Please excuse me. All right, so now that we have all that, I'm gonna go ahead and set my face now. So this is where I would take my translucent all over powder. And at this point, you don't have to use the same powder as I'm using. If you do have like a alternative all over face powder, use that. This is what I have, and this is actually what I use um, in general. So I'm giving you the real. All right, so I am applying this all over. And if I didn't mention that I get pretty oily on my forehead as well, I do, y'all. It'd be a struggle. I'd just be like, why? Yes, even though I have my bangs, I still put foundation on my forehead. Some people choose not to, like if they have like hair that's hiding their forehead. To me, I just do it because I know like it just makes me feel like my face is all the way complete. So there we have it, friends. I'm also just gonna add a little bit of bronzer as well. Since I did some contour, I'm taking my Fenty Beauty Sun Stalker bronzer and Mocha Mami. This is my all-time favorite bronzer. Like, I hit pan, so you can tell. But I love this shade. It is really, really pretty. And it really like complements chocolate skin so well. Like, hence, Fenty just is doing the thing all around. Gotta love your girl, Riri. Like, she's doing her thing. Love her. Um, and yeah, I'm doing something really, really light. All right. Autumn. All right, so there we go, y'all. This is the foundation. I definitely think that all of these steps will really help combat, actually, just helping control that excess oil that seeps up throughout our hot summer days, whether you are going outside for long periods of time or you are just stepping out for a second sometimes. And I'm just putting a little bit of lipstick on as I'm talking to y'all. But yeah, sometimes it is a struggle for us oily folks. Um, and it is just our skin's natural tendency to um, kind of, create the excess oil that our skin naturally wants to. And that's okay sometimes, but when we want to wear our makeup and we want it to last really, really long, um, we want it to look bomb and we want to wear something that's really gonna help complement our skin. For my lips, I'm not gonna hold out and be stingy, y'all. I'm applying for the lip liner. I just applied the NYX liquid, the NYX matte lip liner by their NYX suede line. It's in Club Hopper. Love this. This is my all-time favorite, like dark chocolate color. I really wear this with any shade. And then on top of that, I'm going in with a matte lipstick. It's a liquid lipstick. It's the Maybelline Super Stay matte ink. And this is in Fighter. I really love this color. So I'm just gonna apply that right on top. I love this. And y'all, I just want to point this out. If you've never tried these before, this smells so good. I love it. But this is giving me orange vibes, like maybe a orange undertone, but a brownish orange. But it's not an orange, it's a brown. But for some reason, I'm just like orange, orange, orange. All right, so I'm just blending this in. And you definitely don't have to be like me. I think I'm gonna stop here. Um, some people, if you want to go ahead and apply a gloss over it, you definitely can. Just know I gave you the idea. Makeup is a tool that you can do many different things with. You don't have to just use it one way. You can do multiple things. So it's an art, obviously. So be creative. All right. I love this color. I love this lip liner. I love this shade. Um, Heck, even because I just mentioned it, I'm actually going to do that. I'm going to just add a little gloss on top of this and rock out. The gloss that I'm adding is the Black Radiance. This is the perfect tone lip gloss. It has an SPF of 15 in it, and it's in the color Urban Nude. I'm just going to add that right on top of this. Because in the summertime, I lip gloss be popping. And yeah, I actually was like all on the matte lip bandwagon until I found this lip gloss. It really has helped change my life and I love it. So it's like almost every single lip I wear this. I have to wear it. Um, yes, I can list my fave products now. Do you just want do you want to do you want me to list all of my favorite, like all my favorite makeup products or just products that I use here, foundation, let me know which kind you want me to list. All of them or just certain kinds. All right. While you get back to me, y'all, I'm also going to set my entire face because y'all know me. I use a primer, so I also use a setting spray. The setting spray that I'm currently using right now, not one that you have to use, but I highly recommend because I love the Morphe Continuous Setting Spray. It's just everything. I don't know if I'm just like obsessed with the way it sprays because it is a mist. I don't know. But I love the Morphe Continuous Setting Spray. They recently came out with a matte version of their continuous setting spray because if you are any kind of familiar with this particular brand or setting spray, their older kind usually is in a black can, but the matte kind comes in a white one. And they recently came out with this. I've heard great things about it. I've been loving it. So actually, I'm going to go ahead and spray it on my face. What I will say, it does kind of look a little off-putting at first, but you got to let it dry because it is a matte. It's intended to mattify. So let me go ahead and spray this. Mm. All right. So I don't know if y'all can tell. It's probably not going to pick it up on camera the way it looks in person. It is a little bit, but yeah, it comes off like a little bit like white at first, but I feel like that's just how the product is because it's matte. Um, but it'll melt. It'll melt in and dry, so it won't look like this the whole time. But I love it. Yes, I will list all of the products that are my favorite ones that I listed in here. And ones that like I may have talked about but didn't have. I will list all of that so y'all will know because I definitely want y'all to go out, find this stuff if you absolutely possibly can or are interested and try it out for yourself. Or just even if you find other things that can help combat just the shenanigans that we go through with our oily skin, I definitely want to help out in that area. So, um, but yeah, at this point, this is basically what I would do. Now, of course, I don't have like eyeliner and mascara and all the other good stuff on. I don't even have on like highlight, which girl, I'm like, how I missed out on highlight today? But we wasn't doing a full face, right? No, we were talking about our foundation. So that's what this video was all about. But I did give you a little bit of bronze, girl. We defined those cheekbones, and gave you some gloss, gave you some lip, and brows too. Yes. Okay. But yes, I love, 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 love this foundation routine. Like I said, for me, and you are absolutely welcome. Y'all, I will get back to y'all. I won't leave y'all hanging. Please stay tuned on my channel. I don't know if there's a way that YouTube allows you to like list things. Oh, but what it will do, so YouTube does this really great thing. I love it. They do actually allow your video to post to your channel. So this video will be posted. So be sure to check back here on my channel, and I will have all of the products that I listed and used in this video listed in the description bar. So be just sure to check below. Can't talk. But be sure to check the description bar below the video. That is where you will be able to view all of the products that I mentioned here, and also others that I may also have recommended but didn't actually have listed. So yes, but this is my foundation routine. Y'all, I know that it could be a lot for some people, but definitely start where you are and work from there. As you obviously saw when we started out this thing, I had just put on my moisturizer and my primer and a little bit of that translucent powder, and it had gave me a really good bomb face just there. Like I didn't need to go any further. And for some people, that may be where you stop, and that is totally fine because if that's where you are, that's where you are. I want you all to be able to know that like you don't have to be, jump into a place that you are not if you are very new to wearing makeup, but it is still something that you want to do. I definitely want you to be able to enjoy it and not feel like you are running a marathon while trying to get there. So I'm with you, sis, and I want you to be able to get to where you want to be, but not overnight, but at your own pace. So definitely continue to stay encouraged and let me know what you all definitely want to see. I felt the need to share this, but I'm sure that y'all have questions and things like that. So if you feel the need that something comes to mind that you really want to see, and you may see it, something that I may have shared, or you may have never seen me do it, shoot me an email, shoot me a text, shoot me a, DM or something, comment. Let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know your ideas. Reach out. I definitely want to hear you guys and know what it is that you are needing so that I can definitely help and serve you in that way. That is what it's all about, sis. We are a community, so we have to look out for each other. But I'm gonna quit rambling. I know I done took up like 54 minutes of y'all time. Y'all could have been somewhere watching Tiger King or something, because y'all know y'all watching it. I'm not. Like I said, I don't stay in the know of what everybody else is. Oop, sis. So another thing is, I love y'all, but don't be caught slipping. Make sure when you apply your lipstick that you get in between your lips, so you don't end up having your lipstick stain on your teeth, because that is not cute. What I have done in the past, let me find something. I have taken a paper towel, because it's clean and it's sanitary. And I know some people, because I would say some people just use their fingers. I've seen that happen. And I've done it before myself, but sometimes my fingers aren't always clean. And so what I've done instead is taken like a folded up paper towel, like so, that's clean, obviously. And I would just take it and blot it in between my lips like that. And it comes off obviously like that, but it catches all that lipstick that's in between your lips. So you know that you are good to go and you can go about your way and don't have to worry about your lipstick rubbing off onto your teeth or any other place that it should not be, right? Let our teeth stay bright and shine bright like we are. All right, y'all. I'm really serious this time. I love y'all and I want to log off and let y'all go. Be sure to check back here on my channel. Like I said, I will have those products listed once this video is officially done and posted to my channel. Just be sure to check back there, which it doesn't take it very long. So it should be posted tonight. And that is where I will post the list of products that I use. I love you guys. God loves you more. I will continue to check on you guys, continue to check on me. I enjoy doing live on YouTube, as y'all can see. So yeah, get comfortable, because I'm comfortable doing this. When I can't do a video, like, I can see this happening, y'all. So it's a thing. Check back here. But I love you guys. And until next time, sis, stay blessed, stay up, bless up. See y'all later.